Right, let's talk Carlos Baleba now. And Brighton boss Fabian Hertzler is confident the midfielder will still be at the club at the end of this summer transfer window. We know that Manchester United are interested in the 21-year-old, but it would be a costly deal to do.
Very, very, very confident.
Yeah?
Yes.
Any particular reason why?
Just my belief. I didn't see any change. He only changed his hairs, so I think that was the only change he made the last 2 weeks. But overall, he seems to be in a really good place. He's enjoying it with his teammates. He's enjoying it being a Brighton player. He's very grateful to have the process he had in the last season. So I didn't see any big change, and he's an option to start for tomorrow. Yes.
His first words there were very, very confident. Why do you think Fabian Hertzler feels so confident?
They hold all the cards, Brighton. Carlos Baleba has got 3 years left on his contract. Brighton have got the option to extend that for a further year. They don't want to sell. They've got no intention of selling. And because of his contract situation, they are under no pressure to sell as well. And I think also the price would be pretty prohibitive to Manchester United, and that would make it an almost impossible deal to do as it stands, because I'm sure we'll talk about it later about the number of players that Manchester United want to get money for because they want to offload. But I think Brighton will look at Carlos Baleba and they'll compare him to Moises Caicedo. And you know, the noises coming out of Brighton are saying that he's actually further in his development at his stage of his career than Moises Caicedo was at that stage of his career. And what did Moises Caicedo go for? £115 million to Chelsea. So why can't Brighton say, well, if Moises Caicedo went for that, that's going to be our starting point with Carlos Baleba. As far as Manchester United are concerned, their focus clearly is going to be on the Premier League opener. They have signed 3 new forward players. They've revamped that front line with Mateus Cunha, with Brian Mbeumo and with Benjamin Sesko. Yeah. But Ruben Amorim, in his news conference earlier on today, was asked the question, what chance a midfielder? And this is what...
Hi Ruben, just on the midfield situation, do you want a new midfielder to come in, and would you be confident of getting one in? Because it does look like you're quite light in that area.
I'm really happy with our players. They are working really well. We have different players for that position, so we are prepared to win any game with our players.
An important case of the day, an important story of the day is the one regarding Carlos Baleba. Because I've been telling you for days, contacts ongoing, talks ongoing, but very difficult deal, but Man United wanted to try. Well, United this morning made direct club-to-club contact with Brighton for Carlos Baleba. So Manchester United have started the negotiations for Carlos Baleba. And Manchester United received a very clear answer from Brighton. Not for sale. So Man United were expecting the deal to be difficult. Man United were expecting the deal to be very complicated for Carlos Baleba, but they found not a wall. More than this because Brighton don't want to sell the player, because Brighton consider Baleba as an absolutely crucial part of their project, and this is also why the coach Fabian Hertzler in the recent hours was quite clear on the case, on the situation, by mentioning how he was very confident to keep Baleba at the club. And also important to say on Carlos Baleba how the player is keen on the move to Manchester United, is attracted by Manchester United project, even without European football, even without Champions League football, even in a difficult moment of the history of Manchester United, Baleba is keen on that opportunity. But Baleba never told Brighton, I want to leave, I'm going to force the move. Baleba is still happy at Brighton, while he wants to go to Manchester United, but he's not destroying his relationship with Brighton. At least this is the situation as of today. And so Manchester United made this contact with Brighton, but the answer was no, the player is not for sale. Man United tried to understand if there was a number to reach in order to try to negotiate with Brighton, 100, 110, 120 million pounds, whatever. The answer from Brighton was no number. The player is not for sale. So that's the answer, that's the position, and obviously now for Manchester United it's probably going to be the case to explore different options on the market, to go for different midfielders. I can tell you that the appreciation of Manchester United for Baleba is not finishing here. So I don't think Manchester United will say, okay, goodbye to Baleba, we will not see you anymore. I think he will remain in the thoughts of Manchester United because, again, he's super appreciated by the management, but especially by the coach, Ruben Amorim, who is a big fan of Baleba. So I'm sure that this name will return in the conversations for Manchester United meetings, discussions, when it's going to be time to find the midfielder also in the future, because he's a player really appreciated. They were prepared to do something big in terms of proposal, but Brighton don't want to sell the player, and so we have to understand and respect their position. So this is the answer from a
United fans, in my opinion, this rejection of Baleba's signing is getting tiresome. I think United should move on to a plan B. What do you think? Leave your opinions in the comments. Let's go United.